Start recording. Here's the Marky Mark. The Marky Mark, you are no longer
How's it
server
going?
muted. It's great to hear your voice. How are things?
Good, you.
I'm doing great. I saw your post hit trending. I gave you a shout out earlier because of it. I thought you actually did a really nice job summarizing maybe a bad example of how a bid bot could be used unethically and poorly. So nice job sort of calling that out. And I think you did the community a service there, and nice job.
Thank you. It's been a long time. I mean, it's been a shady bot for a while, but it wasn't really that bad. It was the self-voting and stuff like that. But what's been going on in the last few days have been really unexcusable.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I can tell you I have self voted with Love Juice at least once. I thought I was on Aggroed, and instead I was on Love Juice, and I upvoted myself, and I'm like, oh shit, what have I done? So I know that I've done it, but I certainly make a conscious effort to not sell my votes to Minnow Booster, extend my length of voting time to double to try to double up on the amount of SBD I'm earning. That does seem particularly shady.
As well as selling it privately. He was first off doing the bidding windows. Anyone that knows me, I treat them very importantly, and I don't manipulate them. The second thing he was doing was self-voting Zeratul as well as Belly Rub. The third thing he was doing was selling to Minnow Booster. And then he started pulling out a fourth one once my post went live, was selling a 2 times up vote to 80%, and then selling a 3 times up vote until 60%, and then just burning the stake or the voting power. And the reason he was doing that is because he knew he hasn't paid Freedom in 5 days. He hasn't paid the other two people in 4 days. So he knew he was going to lose all his delegation. So he's basically just burning it to zero. And you can get quite a bit of money by burning the voting power down to zero because although it goes down each vote, there's still a lot of votes in that window as you go all the way down to zero. So if you have delegation and you're going to lose it, typically what people will do is burn it to zero because they know when the person gets it, they have to wait 7 days. So they're going to get it as 100%. And burning it to zero is going to give you like 10 times the return for that period of time.
Yeah, smoke them while you got them, right?
Exactly. And that's what he's doing now and like, I don't know if you saw it, but he put out a post yesterday saying that he wanted to get $40,000 from, or 40,000 Steam from everybody to get an $800 upvote and $8 million delegation from outside of Steam it. And he was asking everyone to pay him to do that. And last month, he didn't pay anybody for the belly bank now he has, which is peanuts. It's like, what, $1,000, $2,000 or whatever is in it is nothing in comparison. And then within an hour, all of a sudden he had a change of heart and said, never mind, we're going to back this out and not do it. It's like somebody's going to invest $8 million, and all of a sudden within an hour they changed their mind. It just was really fishy. So a lot of us called him out on that, and that's where it really started going downhill.
Um, okay. I just want to. I want to make sure. Were there other things you want to talk about? Because I want to make sure everybody gets time. Are we focusing on this? Are there other things that you're looking to promote? Some positive aspects of this? Um, where are we
I
going
don't
with
need to
this?
promote anything. I just wanted to come on. I saw you guys were having it, so I'll jump in. I think this is a hot topic, and I know a lot of people don't like voting bots, and I try to run what I do differently than everyone else. I offer a lot of value adds, but I also run it transparently and honestly. I think one of the biggest things I see as a voting bot is a lot of people think voting bots are taking over Steam it. And if I post something on Facebook, I have some Facebook communities with thousands of users. The moment I do a post and it picks up, I get an email within half an hour saying, your post is doing 95% better than everything on this page. Do you want to promote it for $5? And that's how I see bidding bots. It's a promotion tool. Unfortunately, there's a lot of entitlement on Steam, and everyone thinks their post of a stock chart should be worth $50, or their stolen Picasso that they stole off a website, or anything they do should be worth $50. And that creates a mindset that when you do a bidding bot, you're supposed to get a huge profit or a huge return, and that's how you make money. And that's not what it was made for. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are hammering it with large bids and trying to get into trending. And that's not what it was made for either. And I'm working on some things to curb that. But there's also another scenario where you have people that are posting 10, 20 times a day and posting $1 and basically posting junk all day long and just spamming it. And all these things take a crap ton of time to research because any single post, you can't really research enough to tell if this is just somebody doing a meme or a temporary shit post because they just had something in their mind and they were just saying it, or this is the type of person they are and they're just posting out crap all day.
A commitment to shit posting.
Yeah, and it takes time. And with 600 posts a day coming in, I just don't have the manpower. I'm not making money. And I'll post my bid windows right now. A lot of people think, oh, everyone that's running a bid bot is a crook and making a crap ton of cash, and basically it's a racket and they're the only ones profiting. That's my bid windows for the last 4 days. Anything under $120, I lose money. More like $125, I lose money. So every single window you see there, it makes it difficult to pay rent. Anything above that, I break even. And I'm okay breaking even. I'm here for curation rewards. I'm here for the investment in Steam. And that's all I care about. If I can break even on my windows and basically pay my rent, I'm okay. I mean, I'd rather make some liquid so I can do other things, but if I do that, I'm okay with it. And the break-even point for the end user is something like 136, 138, or whatever it is during the price of Steam. So it's not like I'm making a racket where I'm making a fortune. Now, some bots have 100% Steam power that they don't pay for. They're not paying 35,000 Steam a month, and they don't have to pay for anything, and they're making a crap ton. And that's fine. They have a stake, and they deserve what they make. And with the tools that are out there, the one that Yappa Matt makes, and I recommend to everybody, that shows how much is in the pool, where the break-even point, lets them bid intelligently and know what they're going to get and know when is it time to stop bidding for that window. So a lot of that tool right there. So that makes it fair for everybody and has intelligence that only people like me, when I got here, had, because I created tools to do that myself and automatically bid on my post so I didn't have to do it by hand, and it would automatically find a bot that would do it properly and do all that type of stuff. So it gives everyone a level playing field. But I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of these people aren't racking in money. Yeah, you're doing some good curation rewards, but I'm not making any liquid cash. The problem is everything is paid for rent. It's insane. It's an investment I made because I'm focused on getting curation rewards so I have Steam power that I own, that I can be something on the platform rather than just posting and not being seen. Because when I got here, everything I posted, I called it a black hole. I'd post something, and it wasn't even the fact that I'd get 2 cents or less. It was the fact no one read it. And I've built up somewhat of an audience now that people actually look at what I post because I spend time on it. And I'm not looking and saying, hey, I posted something I spent time on, I should get $50, $100 or something like that. It's a matter of people reading it. I post something on Reddit, and I have 400 people looking at it. I have 30 comments. I have people engaged and responsive. I've been on the front page of Reddit like 7 times now. So I have seen engagement, and I know what it is. And here, there isn't there. And that's the problem I see. And I think...
Well, it's there. Hold on.
It is in communities, and that's where I've spent time in communities. It is, I believe so.
Oh, I think... I don't think it's just communities. I mean, I think that to do it right takes an enormous amount of effort. And actually, one of the people that I keep pointing to as like an all-star poster is Kaylin Art. Caitlin showed me how to go do this, where like every time she posts, she's sitting there for at least another 30 minutes, like responding to her audience. And when I was doing that and really making that a focus of what I was doing, I actually had some pretty amazing engagement with people. And then as like witnessing took over and PalNet took over, I could do it less. But, one of the tricks to that engagement is like not just posting, but being there for at least the 30 minutes. And there were times when I was sitting there for an hour and a half after I had posted, responding back to all the people that were interacting with me. And now that I don't do that as much, I don't get as much interaction on my posts. But But there are ways to do that on this platform. There are ways to get heavy engagement, and I think one of the tools that we have at our disposal is actually upvoting the people that are commenting on our posts. Again, that's about creating incentive to interact with us. But I'm not ready to say, oh, there's no engagement here. Like it's pretty shit engagement if you're a minnow, but if you've taken time to build your business here and have an audience and you care and maintain for it properly, I have zero doubt that people that are engaging in their community, engaging on their posts, have nearly unlimited ability to interact with their audience, and it'll happen.
I completely agree with you there. The problem is when you first get here, it's not the case.
Oh yeah,
And
when you
it takes
first
a
get
long
here,
time.
it sucks.
And that's why I tell people to spend time commenting, engaging, rather than posting when you first get here, because it's virtually impossible to be seen until you do that.
Yeah, no, like that's part of the life cycle here, and there's no rule book to this place, but I've written like 8 million different articles called Steam Tips or Steam It Tips that are about sort of life cycle. Like one of the lead developers for Steam It, Sneak, is not a fan of the term minnow. And he says things like minnow and things like dolphin and words like whales are harmful to the platform. And there's some truth to that. I'm not willing to say that it's totally wrong, but to me, if we can identify where somebody is in their life cycle, and maybe I could just say, if you have less than 5,000 Steam, but it's a lot quicker to just say if you're a minnow. But at these various life cycles, there's different activities that you should be focusing on in terms of growing your net worth. Not necessarily doing the thing you love, but if you are interested in growing your net worth, a minnow should be commenting, a dolphin should be authoring, and whales should be curating.
Yeah, I agree there. I think in the beginning, there's definitely a different mindset. And I think in the very beginning, it's engagement and kind of meeting people, networking, getting into communities and all that stuff. I spent a lot of time off of Steam It in Steam It communities like Discord. It's been a huge deal for me.
Yeah, I
Getting
mean,
my name out, meeting people, and
I can support that. I think that's important. Having created a 5,100 Steamian community, I can totally agree that that is arguably the single most important thing you can do off block, but at least on block, where we're talking about the direct post rewards, commenting, then authoring, then curating are the three activities that are going to have the highest return for the author or for the person doing it, depending on their life cycle.
I wanted to save 1 minute if there's still time, if anyone had questions about what's going on today, just because it's just such a big deal. There's going to be some more information coming out tomorrow, but if you had any questions about that or wanted to talk about that at all, I can answer any of those.
There's a 7-second delay here, so we're going to give the audience just a little bit of time to ask a question and kind of propose something. I mean, again, actually, in this moment, I'm going to go to your. Are you Marky Mark on that? It's at
the Marky Mark.
It's at the Marky Mark. Marky Mark. So let me go grab. I guess I could have just gone directly to trending. That might be easier to go find this, but.
It was the first time I broke 100 and hit trending. I was shocked.
Nice job, bud.
I thought yesterday's would have going to do it because I was excited about it. They had the best headline you can get, I think.
Maybe we can use these.
I love the
instead.
headline. How to milk the reward pool with complete freedom.
I don't think I saw that, but I should go look. Team Steam is suggesting that we use the terms that they put out of super user, hero, and superhero. I mean, they have further classified this. I'm not sure that. I don't know if that will help Sneak's argument. I mean, I don't really support Sneak's argument. I think terms minnow, dolphin, and whale are just perfect. I don't know. I don't think they hurt this platform. At times, I do think that if we replace the word whale with investor, it might change some people's perspective. So maybe it's something like new user, experienced user, and investor. Those might be better terms, but I don't know. Minnow, dolphin, and whale make a ton of sense to me.
I'm going to grab Steve McGraven's question where he said, how do you think the change of ownership happened with Belly Rub? I'm going to be clear. I do not believe there's a change of ownership at this point. I
Yeah,
believe this is, in fact, Zeratul.
yeah,
At first, I had information otherwise, but we have some stuff that we're working on, but I believe that's the case.
yeah. Isn't Dang currently arguing that he doesn't own Belly Rub?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of him, and I purposely did not say it was him. I said I have belief it is, and Zeratul told me it was him, and there's some other things, but at this point, I do not believe it's him. I believe this is 100% Zeratul, and it's something that he did on his own. And I have some things that we're working on to support that, but
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
how I feel right now.
one fear I have about that is that he's one of the mods over in Utopian.i or -io. And so, I mean, if he's out there doing scandalous, shady, bid body things with his, like, I forget how much Steam is on Belly Rub, but if he's doing that with Belly Rub, what's he going to do with a 4 million SB account behind him?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, there's he's going to be losing that delegation. The three people that have delegated to him are pulling vote, or at least two of them. One of them will eventually. That's why he's burning all the voting power. But there's some stuff that he has done in the past that's coming out that may be showing up tomorrow. So there might be a big post from somebody everyone knows here coming up tomorrow.
all right, well, DM me, please, and I'm more than happy to re-steam what is going to be the next hit trending post about the hot topic item of bidbots and one bidbot gone bad.
Hey, Ron Johnson, I totally I saw that. He went through and voted on my post, my Build a Whale post, and a lot of other players. What Ron Johnson said is the biggest vote on my post is actually a $50 vote from Belly Rub. He actually went through and burned all this voting power, and he didn't do it on his post. He did it all over the place. He spread. He hit up Build a Whale Curation Digest bunch of times, a bunch of other people, and I saw that, and I was like, I was totally confused, and I thought that was a deflection from somebody else trying to deflect the cause of or the who is behind it. But yeah, there's a lot of people he voted on, but he also hit up a lot of negative votes on a lot of people as well. So
He was downvoting?
he was downvoting as well as upvoting, mostly upvoting. He was upvoting quite heavily too.
Uh, that's
20,
actually kind of
$50 a
awesome.
whack.
If you're going to go down, you might as well go down flagging.
Well,
That
I totally expect a lot of those are going to disappear by the time 7 days are up.
the flags?
The votes, the upvotes.
Really? Why?
I think he might pull them just messing around with people. I don't know, but
He
they
doesn't
weren't
he
on
need
his properties.
he's probably going to want some of that curation because he's probably in debt.
That's a lot of where I think this is coming from. Sorry, I still have this cough from a month ago. A lot of people this week has been brutal. You could see my windows. I had a 56 window, and I have a $175 vote. I lost a ton of money. I lost like $60, $50 of that window, whatever. A lot of people got hit really hard that are paying for rent
Yep.
for Steam Power. It's been insane this week.
Yeah,
How long term?
SPD and Steam kind of flipping position was not helpful to bidbot owners that were renting.
Yeah, I reported that, like the first one that reported it, and got that out there. And within 4 hours, my vote was worth less than somebody that posted 4 hours later and 5 minutes into it. It was crazy, but that made a big deal. And fortunately, I'm here long term. I'm not looking for a quick buck or trying to make it through whatever. I have enough steam on and off the platform to cover any gaps on the week to week rent, because I owe $8,400 a week. Now I owe more than that, but so as long as I cover that rent, I can pull some other places to cover that to keep it going, because I'm in here for the curation rewards and to build up steam power and to be something going forward. But a lot of people that are week to week, this has been insane. It's been brutal. in terms of keeping up, and a window going from averaging $130 to going down to 56 is just,
it's a tough day.
it's like cha-ching but backwards.
Yep. I think you're doing a nice job running your bot in a reasonable, healthy, thoughtful way. I'm glad you're on this platform. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm looking forward to sort of the next headline news as the belly rub scandal keeps evolving.
Thanks. I think a big thing is panic in hard times brings out the best of people, and I think when you see people that are poor and broke and they're struggling, and then the first person to give you your shirt, you see the true colors of somebody. And when this week has been bad on things, and I think it just amplified things that were already there.
Well, let me before we go, where are we sitting for? I don't know if I wonder if he's back, but we're sitting at 110 for Steam and 167 for SBD.
Yep.
So
this has really pulled Steam up quite a bit, which is interesting. So the first one that happened was the Korean exchange upbit that basically took on Steam, and that was the first push. This last one, I think it might be part of the Tostitos and a couple whales that are dumping that are trying to inflate the price a bit. But the initial one has pulled Steam up quite a bit. It was in the 86, 87, and even went down to 79 at a point. And now it's sitting pretty over $1 steady.
Yep.
So,
well, I don't know. At some point this thing is going to go down. Hopefully, it doesn't kill all your funds prior to that.
Yeah, and my concern is not only when Steam-backed dollars go down, everybody that's doing this is cashing in for 50 to 100% profit on every Steam-backed dollar they have. They're doing that for Steam. At some point, somebody has to pick up that tab. I mean, you just can't create money out of thin air. I know we're already creating 64,000 Steam a day. At some point, this is going to pay us back, and Steam will reflect that. So there's going to be a day of reckoning in response to this.
Yeah, thanks, pumpers.
There's a lot of value coming back that creates a real value to push Steam up forward to go through that. There's going to be a return on this.
Well, I think we'll see that reflected in the not too distant future. But what do I know? I'm not an active trader. I just think you got to be a little nuts to think that SBD is going to stay up there indefinitely.
I will tell you that speaking of active trader, the internal market has gone through for the longest time. I was about 25% of the internal market because I have to take everything that's SBD and convert it to Steam to pay rent. So the average day was like $5,000 or less, and I would be converting about $1,200 to pay rent, or $1,100 or whatever it is. And now we're up to almost $25,000 for the last 24-hour volume.
Wow.
So there's a huge amount of volume and liquidity on the market right now. It died down. Like yesterday, if you look at the buy and sell walls, we were down to zero. Everyone was pretty much friggin' out. And then it's through the roof again. We have the buy side is just all the way up to the top. And the sell side is like halfway up there. So there's a lot of movement. And there was a post that you made. You were the one that made the post about buying the house, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of movement in there, and there's a lot of money to be made. Just in a day period, you can make 20-30% buying and selling up between those things if you're risky enough to try to time it. So,
yep,
it's pretty crazy.
No, I mean, these are interesting days to live through for sure. All right, you're listening to the Marky Mark and Skanky J. I'm going to go pull the Marky Mark off here. Thank you for coming on. If you don't know, he's also running a witness. So if you want to go put a link to a witness post or something, please go do that into the MSP Waves audience channel. I know Saipan's ready. This might be the last call. Let me go stop the recording.